Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today, I'm going to talk about Brandon Briggs from the YouTube channel Last Days. I'm going to discuss his financial prophecies that we discussed back in December of 2023. Now, at that time, folks, I gave an honest review of Brandon Briggs' financial prophecies concerning the dinar, concerning the economy, and we're going to discuss those because if you guys don't know, Brandon has taken the internet by storm concerning his Trump prophecy and the attempt on Trump's life. And so I have reserved judgment on that prophecy as the research and other people have showed me different things. And I'm going to be doing a review on that particular prophecy. But I wanted to talk about his financial prophecies first because this is what this channel is about. Now, first, before I get started, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing information, giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. So back in December of 2023, I gave you guys an honest review of Brandon Briggs' financial prophecies. And I told you that it would be the most important prophecy for 2024. And I have been right about that. Some of the things you're getting ready to hear is very important concerning what Brandon prophesied and what is actually currently taking place now and what's supposed to take place in the next few months. And the other important thing is, if Brandon is wrong, then he has tainted the entire timeline that people have developed in their minds. Not mine, because I told you guys that I reserve judgment. Because some of the things that he was saying goes against what we've heard before prophetically. And so that is very important. That's why it's the most important wealth transfer prophecy. There has been a lot of controversy over Brandon Briggs because he had said originally in his prophecy he didn't see blood. And so that is very important because you see all these big Christian YouTube channels are coming against Brandon right now at this time. Now with this, I gave him an unbiased review of his prophecies. I didn't know anything about his past, but he was gaining traction around that time. And of course, he had admitted to having a lot of prophecy failures in 2015. The other important thing about this prophecy is that he said that the dinar would happen and then the financial collapse would take place after the dinar revaluation. So that is different from what we have heard before. So now I'm getting ready to go back over those same prophecies. So you guys know that Brandon has put these videos on private. So nobody can go back and do research. Nobody can go back and listen to what he said. But I captured that, thankfully. And also, too, it reminds me that when people have prophecies like this, I need to download the video. So this video was put out December the 21st of 2023. This is the one that I did. The original prophecy for this one about gold and silver actually came out in November. And in this prophecy, you're going to hear about 9 or 10 different things that he says concerning what's supposed to take place in 2024. Each prophecy is connected, folks, and it's important because of where we are right now and whether or not if he's actually hearing from the Lord. Because he gave dates and time frames when these things would happen, telling people to prepare for what's going to take place in the beginning of 2025. And this is not something that you play with lightly, especially when you're talking to almost 100,000 people when this video came out.
But I'm telling you what I seen, that 2024, we will soar. That there will be great financial outpouring to make the Democratic Party, who's in office right now over the United States of America. I saw a lowering of interest rates coming. But I saw that it would not be, this is just what I seen, y'all. I'm going to tell you, but you don't. These are just visions that I have whenever I'm praying. I saw a lowering of interest rates coming in 2024, but it was a falseness to try to prop up the dollar, to prop up the economy, to make it look better than what it is going into an election year. I saw an explosion in crypto. I saw an explosion in the stock market. I saw explosion in the price of goods going, like trying to say everything's going down, everything's looking better, it's going to be awesome. We're going to, look at what we've done. Not a soft landing, trying to per se, like everything is amazing, right? So I saw it going into the spring of 2024. financial breakthroughs for people, a shifting in the body of Christ, a debt, what is it called? A transfer of wealth. There it is. A transfer of wealth, a supernatural shifting of things coming in 2024.
So let's go over these prophecies and let's test these prophecies to see if they've actually come to pass. All right, now he said 2024 we will soar, right? So we have not seen that yet. That there will be a great financial outpouring, and we haven't seen that yet. And that great financial outpouring is used to make the Democratic Party look good going into an election year, a falseness trying to prop up the dollar to try to prop up the economy. Did we see that? He also said lowering of interest rates coming. Right now, it's not the end of 2024, but this prophecy is connected to another prophecy of a time frame that he gave as far as the interest rates. He said he saw an explosion in crypto, an explosion in the stock market. He said going into 2024, I saw explosion in the price of goods, like trying to say everything's going down, the prices of everything is going down. Did we see the price of gasoline or diesel go down? Because diesel is the most important energy source right now, because trucks have to transport a lot of these things across the country, all across the country. If the price of diesel is really high, then it affects everything down the chain. Then he prophesizes everything was looking better, and it was going to be awesome, and everything is going to be amazing. And did we see that going into 2024? So we didn't see any of those things. And many people were looking, not me, but many people were looking for the explosion in the crypto and the explosion in the stock market. In 3 months, there's no way that even if they lower the interest rates, with the way things are, you're not going to make people feel a certain way by the election time. It's too late for that. Now, if they would have started back in January, then that would have been a whole different story, but they didn't. All right, so this next prophecy is attached to the one that I just shared with you, and it's also attached to the one that I'm getting ready to share after this one. This is another prophecy that took place on December the 28th of 2023. So he prophesied this last year.
Say it like this. I heard the Spirit of the Lord say this: great grace will be poured out over 2024. A great grace. I saw a grace wave. I could see it on January, February, March, April, and May. There was an acceleration of great grace. I saw a change in the spiritual atmosphere concerning finances. Finances. Supernatural outpouring of finances for the people who are listening in the body of Christ. And it's going to pour on the just and the unjust. It's going to be on the just and the unjust. I saw finances on the unjust, and I saw finances on the just. Okay? A great wave of money.
In the previous prophecy, it was a vision. In this one, it was hearing from the Lord. Now, did we see the financial outpouring, supernatural outpouring between January and May on the just as well as the unjust? So this is attached to the other prophecy dealing with the wealth transfer starting in December of 23 going into 2024, and the wealth transfer in the spring of 2024. So this next prophecy from Brandon came on December the 14th of 2023. This is the prophecy where he brings up BRICS.
And that's what I was praying over. And then all of a sudden, I was praying over the BRICS nations and what was coming in January. And them doing a new currency and a new petrodollar. And I saw the United States of America had a plan to combat what was coming with their agenda because they knew about it. So they were not caught off guard. The America wasn't.
So I wanted to stop it there before we go into the other ones, because that prophecy did not happen.
I saw Jerome Powell. He was sweating on his face. He had drops of sweat coming down like he was nervous and upset. He was worried, per se. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, I saw this massive balloon It was a latex balloon, okay? And it was transparent. And there was housing and big, huge skyscrapers. I saw trees. I saw, like, the economy, America, all on this big balloon. And he went up to put the balloon to his lips, to blow it up, to make it bigger, to make the economy bigger. He blew the inflation. He blew it. And he went, and when he blew it in, he was lowering interest rates. And I saw interest rates being lowered in the springtime. It was the springtime. I'm not sure what month it is. I see months, I see calendars, but I saw a springtime event coming. And he breathed into it, and he kept saying to himself, he was worried about what was happening. Because in his mind, he kept saying, is this going to work? What is going to happen? And all of a sudden, I saw him breathe into it, and the balloon started to expand. Inflation started expanding, expanding. And it was transparent. And all of a sudden, the balloon started to shake. It started to shake. There wasn't a lot of turmoil at this time. Then all of a sudden, I heard them speaking, which is the people at the Fed, the government entity, the people are over the finances. They started saying, it worked. Nothing happened. It wasn't that bad. They waited a span of time. And then I saw into June, into the summer, May into June, the summer months. And they said, let's do it again. And they breathed into the balloon again. And they breathed into it, and it expanded even more. But this time, it was getting super big. The balloon was even bigger. And he was dripping, there's sweat dripping off of his face. And then now, the houses that were on top of this transparent balloon started to shake. All of the housing started to shake. I saw Empire State Buildings, those huge skyscrapers, were starting to rock a little bit. They were starting to shake a little bit, but they were not like in a lot of trouble like what I saw the housing. I saw housing shaking. I saw the houses, there's little houses, and they were all trembling underneath because of the balloon was trembling. But it wasn't affecting the big buildings as much. But I could see that the whole balloon was trembling, okay? And he was breathing into this balloon. And his facial expressions were he was nervous because he knew that balloon was about to pop. And there was nothing he could do to stop it because it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So they waited a little bit long. I could see into the summer. I could see into June, July, August with this situation. This is just part of the vision that the Lord showed me. And when it got into September and October, I saw the balloon bust. I saw the balloon like pop. It's like it wasn't there anymore. The balloon popped. And I heard the word quantitative easing. Now, I'm not an economics person, y'all. I barely have a high school education. I'm just telling you what I see and when I'm praying in the Spirit, what the Lord show, what I hear when I'm praying and I'm seeing over into the year. I'm seeing over in the spirit realm of things I can pray over and what the Lord is leading me to pray over. So I heard the word quantitative easing. I don't know, I Googled it since then, and my wife was trying to explain it to me. So then I saw October. I saw it was like things were different. Things were different, but it went into the election, and then I won't get into that part of it yet because I'll save that for a little bit. Then remember I told you about the holly berries. I saw the green leaf on the holly berry and I saw the red berries, and it flashed before me in the vision. And the Lord said, remember. And I saw a great economic crash, a major crash in the winter months of 2024. I saw going into 2025, and I saw it was very dark again. I saw black, but I saw a great black depression. It felt like depression, like a heaviness in the spirit realm when I was praying. I felt a very heavy presence, like depression. And I kept hearing the word a great depression, a great depression. And it was into 2025. And I heard this over and over. 2025, a great depression. And I could see going all the way into 2025, something that we've never, in this generation, has ever seen before. Going clear up into 2026, going clear into 2027.
So let's go ahead and review what Brandon said. All right, now, he first said BRICS, a new dollar in January of 24. That didn't happen. Interest rates dropped by the spring, the lowering of interest rates, that did not happen. He said May into June that they would lower it again. So this would have been the second interest rate drop. All of those prophecies that he said right there did not come to pass. Then he said September, October, the balloon would burst. And that would be the beginning of the economy falling apart. Then he said the market crash would be in the winter months of 2024. He talked about the holly berry. And that is very important concerning the Dinar prophecy.
He told me when the economy was going to crash. And I saw it, okay, in a dream. And an angel came to me and he spoke to me. And the angel warned me. He said, and this is part of it right here. He took me in the dream and he said, I want you to pay attention to the hollyberry bushes. Now, a lot of times when the Lord talks to me, he gives me codes, okay? And it's for me to intercede for it. So it's symbolism. So the angel told me, and he pointed to the hollyberry tree, the hollyberry bush. The angel said, look at the berries. And the berries were red. And he said, pay attention to the hollyberry bush. Watch this berry bush. It's a very key sign for you. The angel told me this, okay? And the berries were turning red. And he said, watch when the berries turn red for when the economy crashes. The economy will crash when the berries are turning red. And so I saw snow falling down. The snow was coming down. And the angel told me, look at the snow. And I saw the snow coming. I saw snow on the ground. And he said, pay attention to the snow. So then I went inside, and all my friends that I had told about the dinar, okay, were celebrating the dinar revalue, a reinstatement back to where it was, okay? And they were all rejoicing over their prophetic gain, their gains from the blessing. And they were standing on a Persian rug, okay? And there was a big wreath for Christmas wreath on the wall in the house, and there was this thick Persian rug. I told you that, and they're all standing on a Persian rug, and the rug, and a massive TV was on the wall, and on the wall. It was on the news. It was like a Fox News. And I seen it. And all of a sudden, my wife was in the kitchen. And the kitchen was pure white. And we were serving the people. We were serving the people in a pure white kitchen. The kitchen had beautiful white cabinets, beautiful white granite, beautiful white floors. And she was in there busy cooking, making meal for the guests, all the people that had invested into the dinar and to the stock market, and all of a sudden she had a tray full of food to go and give the people. And I'll tell you this part of it: I was dead in the dream. They could not see me, okay? And the angel told me, he said, you have to die to self to be able to hear what is coming. If you're not dead to self, you can't hear it. And he said, you're dead. So they cannot hear you because they don't have ears to hear. So you have to be still, because until they are dead, they won't be able to hear it. So he put his hand on my lips and he said, shh, hush now. Hush now. They're not dead to self. They don't hear it. He that has ears to hear what the Spirit is saying, they'll hear it, but they don't hear it. So he put his hands on my lips. Shh, hush now, hush now. So I said, but I got to warn them what's coming. I got to warn them what's coming, but they did not hear. The people were all standing on the rug, and all of a sudden that rug was ripped out from underneath their feet. And they were standing and watching the TV, and at the time I was trying to yell. I was yelling with all I had, trying to tell them what was coming, but they did not hear what the Spirit of the Lord was saying because they weren't dead. I was yelling at them. And there was a screen on the wall, the TV, and all of a sudden it said, the Dow Jones has dropped today, and it was thousands of points in a matter of days. Like, I don't know if it was a day or an hour or whatever, but it was just, I saw the number over, like the largest drop in the history of the United States had happened that fast. And everybody that was standing on that Persian rug had lost everything, and they started weeping. And started crying out, oh God, we lost everything. And they were so upset because they weren't hearing him. They had the initial investment from the dinar, and the dinar had gone up in value, and everybody was millionaires. They were all so excited. But in a matter of moments, they had lost everything. The money that was all in the banks, if you had millions of dollars in the banks, it was seized inside the banks when it happened. Okay? And all the money that was in the banks was no longer yours. Okay? I don't know how all this happens legally. I'm just telling you what I saw.
So when it comes to the dinar, he said people would benefit from the dinar, and then they would all lose it in a matter of moments. Okay, so that goes against what every single prophecy I've ever heard concerning the dinar. Now, he said that there would be a black and great depression, right, going into 2025. He said a great depression. He kept repeating himself, folks. So this is why this is important. If he was wrong about all of these other prophecies, right, the BRICS dollar, the interest rates, and all the other things that he said that were supposed to happen in the spring, you have to really consider whether or not if he is truly hearing from God. Now, I'm going to say this. Listening to everything that he has said concerning all these things, I don't believe that he is hearing from God because he's gotten so many prophecies wrong. And this is just the financial part to it. Now, keep in mind, folks, he said that he spoke to angels, and he's having visions, and he's hearing from the Lord, and he's having dreams. And it's concerning the financial realm. And all of those have failed. So when somebody claims that they are having dreams or visions with angels, or angels are coming to them, whatever the case, and the prophecy fails, then he's not actually talking to an angel. He's talking to something else. When he's claiming he's having visions, he's not having visions from the Lord. He's having visions, whether it's his own flesh or the enemy is showing him visions. Now, there is one more video that I want to share, and this deals with his apology about some of the prophecies that he made. And it's almost as if he doesn't really understand all the prophecies that he's made and the impact that he has had on people in the wealth transfer. And I told you guys that I was reserving judgment. And so I know that there was a lot of other people that were expecting all these things to happen. And this is important because we live in the end times. We're like there at the door. And the Bible says that many false prophets will arise. The Bible talks about how if Satan can transform himself into an angel of light, he can do the same things with his ministers and turn them into ministers of righteousness. And I will tell you this, that listening to a lot of Brandon's videos and hearing him name drop all these different people, he's been immersed into the wealth transfer. He knows and has heard all the prophecies and dreams from all these other people. And it's just funny how he's saying like a lot of the same things. Not everything that he has a lot of financial prophecies that I have not shown on here because they sound like Christopher Harris. They sound like this person over here or that person over there. But he has immersed himself. Remember, he was falsely prophesying. He admitted himself in 2015 about an economic crash then. He does have a history of giving false prophetic dates and time frames and events. And this is not about, oh, he just missed the timing. No, that means anybody could be a prophet and just say the exact same thing he does and then turn around and say, well, I just missed it. I'm still a prophet though. And if you do notice too, he doesn't have any place where you can go and look at his prophecies. Okay, you have to listen to his videos and then you have to figure everything out. Why wouldn't somebody take their prophecies and write them down and then post them somewhere on the internet? Even if you don't want people to see it, you can still post it into your own personal Telegram or do something to show that, hey, or emailed yourself to show that, hey, I did have this prophecy and this is when I had it. He can't even go back and show you. He's kind of all over the place. But I want you guys to hear this apology because it is very important because of how he says things and the nonchalant attitude he has about this huge miss.
Hey, good morning, family. How y'all been doing? I'm gonna come out right now and just and tell y'all. There's a lot of people in the comment section. They're saying, "Hey, you missed it" and stuff like that. It looks like I did. I'm human. We see in part, we hear in part. But in this case, part of the vision, the Lord said, I've called you on YouTube to pray, to pray for my people and to tell my people that I'm coming.
Okay, that's fine. But he's just nonchalant about it and he goes right into, I've been called to do this. And I do understand most people like the Julie Greens and the Bo Ponies and all that, they never apologize. They never come back and address the prophecy, and he is. Right? But he still got it wrong. That's what people need to see. He got all of these prophecies wrong.
And as a prophetic intercessor that I see and of what I believe, what the Lord showed me, everything in that vision that the Lord gave me back in January about how the interest rates would be lowered to stimulate the economy. I saw the housing market in trouble. I saw the balloon. I told everybody about the balloon, that Jerome Powell was blowing into the balloon and he was sweating. And he was, and the Lord showed me that it was inflating, and the balloon started to shake. He told me to watch April, and nothing happened. He told me to watch June, and then they didn't lower it again today. So I'll just take it that I missed it. That's all I can say. Either that or the prayers of the intercessors delayed it.
Okay, who's praying for the delay of the wealth transfer? That's what I want to know. Who is praying for the delay of the wealth transfer? This is the most ridiculous excuse that I've ever heard from anybody concerning a failed prophecy. If you are hearing from the Lord with angels and visions and rhema words and dreams and none of it is coming to pass, you're not hearing from the Lord. And if he's not hearing from the Lord on this, you guys have to understand that he's not hearing from the Lord on probably 99% of the other prophecies that he's given.
That's all I can say. Either that or the prayers of the intercessors delayed it, or I was seeing clear off, in another year from now or another year from now or 2 years or who knows. Because I quoted a time frame that it was going to happen this year on election year, and I'll own up to it. There's a lot of prophetic voices on YouTube that when they miss it, they won't come on and address it, and they just want to push it under the rug because they just want to keep going on. And I'm just real with y'all.
Okay, and yet you say that, but yet you have Bo Pony who has done the same thing, who has prophesied false dates. He's prophesied about the angel of death, and he's prophesied about the return of Trump and all this stuff, and yet you take him on the show. When you first started your channel, you were talking about how messed up it was that all these prophets who prophesied the return of Trump were all wrong, and yet you're having them on your show. You're sitting with them across the thing with Steve and Amanda Grace, who was doing the same thing. It's very hypocritical of you to say this when you are sitting at their table now, because that's exactly what you wanted.
You know what? If I miss it, I'm going to call it out. Hey, you missed it. And so it is what it is. You know what? We can all do that. And I hope y'all show me grace because of it. But I believe with all.
You're asking people to give you grace, and yet you have all these failures, and we're expected still to follow you. What if this person is prophesying in other people's lives? What if this person is telling somebody, this is your husband or your wife? Or what if this person is telling you you're going to be healed from cancer or something like that? We have enough of that stuff going on now.
All my heart, like I told you all, unless the prayers of the saints, the people interceding for America, standing in the gap for America, can delay things or avert things altogether, that things would happen, that the balloon wouldn't pop.
Nobody was praying for that stuff. At that time, Brandon, when you had that vision, you only had maybe 80,000 something subscribers when you were making those prophecies. All right. But now you have a bigger impact because your channel is now 346,000 because of a prophecy that was close
In October, and that the economy's not going to crash in December, and that we won't have some kind of major economic shaking right now. I believe we.
Okay, so why would God tell you all these things to tell his people to prepare themselves and then not go through with it? And this is a problem within the wealth transfer, because when you're in the wealth transfer, if you're in any of these other groups, everybody's a prophet. You are to believe everybody, even if they keep failing. That is the attitude. And that's why I've separated myself a lot, and I don't share as much information. I don't talk about certain things anymore. I share it within my own personal groups, a lot of things, but I don't share things publicly anymore because there are too many wolves and there are too many sheep that follow those wolves. I mean, here we are in the end times. He's prophesying who the Antichrist is and the false prophet and all these events that are going to happen, millions of people dying and all this and all that. If he has made all these failed financial prophecies, what does that mean about the rest of his prophecies? He claims he's hearing from angels. He's having visions. He's hearing directly from the Lord. He's having dreams. He said he has met with Jesus before. And yet all your financial prophecies are failing. God does not work that way. And I'm going to tell you something. Because of his financial prophecies, look, to this day, even right now, in other wealth transfer groups, people are putting their timeline still considering Brandon's prophecies. See, this is why it's important to not use YouTube as your training ground. This is why it's important not just to post videos only. You guys, some of these people need to start writing things down and posting things on a website or doing something. Heck, you can post it on YouTube and make the video private. And then when you're ready to release it, you can release it. You can just say the dream on YouTube and keep it private. That way you could prove that you even did it. Now, Brandon has deleted all of his Dinar videos. He's deleted a financial video. Not saying deleted, he put it on private. He's also put on private videos like his experience with Kenneth Copeland and how much of a man of God he is. I don't know why he would put that on private. In many other videos he has put on private. That to me is confusion, and that is a huge red flag. That there's more going on as far as his intent. I don't care how childlike he seems, how he's saying for the Lord. Look, folks, the deception in the end times will be so great that Christians will be deceived. And they're going to sound like Jesus, they're going to look like Jesus, they're going to act like Jesus, or they're going to seem to be this apostle of God who's doing everything right and he's prophesying everything right. And this is why God only told me to focus on prophecy. I am judging his prophecies. And as of this moment right now, Brandon, looking at his failed prophecies, he is not hearing from angels. He's not seeing visions from God or anywhere else. He's not hearing from the Lord. And his dreams are not coming from the Lord. And I can say that because in Deuteronomy 18:22, it says, When a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the word does not come to pass or come true, that is a word that the Lord has not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. That means that if you still believe in Brandon, if you think Brandon is a true prophet of God, then you should pick up your ministry and go. Same with all the other prophets. If you really truly think that these are men and women of God that are prophesying these things, putting themselves out in the public. He claims what the Lord is showing him in prayer about the economy, folks. I do not believe anything that he says. He might be seeing in the spirit and seeing what psychics see, but he's not hearing from the Lord. If you're going to analyze prophecy, take it seriously. When somebody gives a prophecy that is plain and clear, there is no room to move. And that's exactly what he has done. Okay, so if you feel like you want to follow him, if the other leaders in the wealth transfer want to follow him, go right ahead. He's going to lead you right off a cliff. And it's not just about the finance, folks. He's talking about the end times and the Antichrist and all this Trump and all these things that are taking place. So anyways, that is all that I have for this today, folks. All the information that I have here and all the links to the videos will be down below in the description. So anyways, I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.